So Hollywood has shut down. There is massive ticket sales for both Barbie and Oppenheimer on the same day. The boys invades Call of Duty, and we get the iconic Wolverine suit. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Lights, Camera, Rant. As you always know, before we fully dive into this episode, there's always one thing we do first.
Welcome to the Light, Camera, Rant podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
I never get tired of that. Doesn't matter how many times it comes past, I never get tired of it. So, hi everyone, and welcome back. For anyone who's new, welcome. For anyone who's come back weekly, always a pleasure. You know where to sit and you know where to pull up a drink. So, as always, we're currently streaming live on both YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Between Twitch and Kick, we're going to keep alternating. In the past week as well, I really want to do a big shout out to everybody. Big thank you. We hit 400 subscribers on YouTube, which is hell yes. Thank you very, very much for everyone who supported so far. And the goal is 1,000 by the end of the year, which, you know, if we hit it, fantastic. If we don't, we're going to keep grinding until we do. That's the main thing. But what, I know I say this kind of like every single week, and you know me, I get excited over small things, big things, it doesn't matter. But this week, we've got some really good news. We got some exciting leaks. We got some new trailers, and then we've just got some shocking news too. That's a bit like, oh, shit. That's, oof, not good at all, which we will dive into because as you guys know, we get into the news and then we get into reviews, which for this particular episode, we've got the latest episode of The Secret Invasion, Beloved, that came out this past week. And we're also going to be reviewing the brand new Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, which we have to wait a year until we get Part 2 done. But without further delay, let's get into this episode, which let's start off with the most impactful thing as a consumer that I can talk about. So 2 weeks ago, writers went on strike with everything that's happened, which we were discussing. And we're like, we understand that, why they've gone on strike, the rise in AI, cost of living, they want to be paid more. That's understandable. But now, on top of that, in the past week, the Actors Guild have also gone on strike and are currently striking it right now, which means that both with the actors and writers, we basically have Hollywood is shut down. The manufacturing is done. Unless the film, I do believe, unless it's in post-production, it's done. It's currently on pause. Any movie right now is currently on pause with everything going on, which we had seen with the premiere at Oppenheimer. The leading cast, they had all walked out in support of the strike. And apparently I was actually reading that the last time the writers and actors went on strike was about 1960, when they both were on strike at the same time. Look, they should be supported. They should get paid well. They should get credited. They should get everything for what they do and for what they produce. You put your heart and soul into something, and you want to be recognized for it. Especially, being a writer or an actor. Especially if your name is up there on the big screen on the poster. You want to get that recognition, which is fair for your hard work, which you deserve. But it's not looking good right now. Hollywood is at a standstill. And I was talking to one of my mates last night, and I said to him, look, the hard thing is they should get everything. They should be supported. Like, I like 100%. Like that's preach, 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 preach. The people that hurts the most is us as the consumers. Because all your favorite TV shows are going to be delayed. There's going to be, depending on how long this strike goes, we're going to feel a lump straight down of either content and delays. Ever since post COVID, which I feel we are currently at episode 112, and I feel that ever since getting out of COVID, actually no, well, and during COVID, I'd say 95% of my episodes, I've had to announce a delay of some sort. A delay in a TV show, a delay in a video game, a delay in a movie. Barely ever have I said, hey, this got released on time. Oh, this release got pulled forward. It's just been delay, 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 delay. And this is just adding on top of it. It is Hollywood, as I said, it is a standstill. It is up shit creek at a paddle until everyone can come on board and get what they deserve. Now, currently right now, a big thing is obviously people coming forward, people are talking, and some people are not making the right comments, which I was quite surprised about this particular one. So Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, came out publicly and said the fact that apparently what actors and writers are asking for are unrealistic expectations. Oh my God, shut up. That is not helping your case, especially in your position. That is not helping at all. And as soon as he said that, like, it was a whole speech of things. He also said that apparently because Marvel has produced too much content, it's diluted the content, which to me, I'm a bit like, I don't think. Yes, we've been spoiled with the Disney Plus shows and the movies. I've never felt like this is too much. Like this is, whoa, this is a lot for me. But then again, it could be very different for the casual consumer. How are they feeling about the whole thing? It could be too much. But me as a fan, which I can say for a whole bunch of other people, like with now, like as soon as the show ends, like we're excited for the next one. We're excited for keep going, like as the diehard fans. But yeah, his comment about it being diluted, I was a bit like, that's I don't know if that was the right comment. Again, he also said that apparently with everything going on, which I think will most likely be a response to everything with the actors and the writers, that there will be less Star Wars and Marvel content, which boo you, sir. Boo you. Like, no, I don't want more content. I like the content we're getting right now. 3 movies, 3 shows, 4 shows. I like that, and I think it's fine. Like, but then again, I'm not a casual viewer. I'm a diehard person who's, got pub figurines of Marvel characters and also has a lightsaber, 2 lightsabers, and is massive. And his entire podcast show was built from this fandom. So I'm built differently, to say the least. But right now, these comments from Bob are not very good. They're not going to shine very well. They haven't been responded well. Well, of course not. So, like, it's one of those moments where I read that and I just thought to myself, like, whoever your PR person, they're probably stressing right now, going, shut the hell up. Just don't. It would have been better for you to support them, not add fuel to the fire and be like, yeah, let's gasoline this more. Let's bring it up more. What's the worst that could happen? I don't know, more delays on your content. Now, a big thing that obviously sparked this was because one of the big things was AI. And I can't remember the website you can go to, but there's a website where, if you input your voice, the AI will talk with your voice. Not to mention, there is also more concerns still into what happened with Peter Cushing's with Star Wars, Princess Leia, your likeness being able to use in multiple films. So who has the rights to that? Which I think David Attenborough, I think he sold his voice, I think he sold his voice to Discovery or to Disney that if he passes, they can still use his voice for all the documentaries, which is kind of weird, to be honest. If it's a special event, something like that, fully understand. But I don't know, watching a trailer and be like, hey, that person's not alive. But then again, as we all know, when you watch a comedy and you hear, and it's not performing on a live stage, and you hear everyone laughing, you're like, oh yeah, they're dead laughs. Oh, sorry if that's a spoiler. Yes, so if you watch a comedy, sitcom or TV show, and it's not in front of a live audience, and you hear these generic laughs in the background, yeah, it's from a dead audience. So that 8 times out of 10 is from a dead audience that you're here listening to. Just like when you look at the stars, and you got to remember, because of how long light travels, the stars that you wish upon are usually dead because of how long light travels. But anyway, I don't want to destroy your dreams too much and get off topic. So, like, the best thing I can say is, as I said, Hollywood is shut down. Hollywood, the production has come to a roaring halt until they pay their employees what they bloody deserve. And until then, as I mentioned, us as the consumers, we just have to sit back and just suffer. And people are like, oh no, we should support. Like, I support them. I 100% support them. But they should get paid what they deserve. But Bob needs to shut the hell up. And with these comments, I'm like, I know how much he's done for Disney, I know how much he's done for Marvel, how much he's done for Star Wars. Like, that's all fantastic. I just feel like this comment was the right thing to say at this right time, which I think a lot of people will agree with me that is the case. But that's the hard truth smack that's going on the depressing side of things. But let's move on to something a little bit more lighter, which, thanks to these leaked set photos, we get the comic book accurate Wolverine suit, bright blue, dark bluish suit that we get from these set photos that we have seen, which looks great. And one of the most curious things is in the background. I can't remember if I was mentioning this the other week, but the fact that in the background you can see the 20th Century logo. In the background of these leaked set photos. So here's a big plot that I can't remember I saw it on Instagram saying that they predict this line. So what it's going to be is that Deadpool is currently being chased by the TVA. Currently, right now, Deadpool, where he's getting Wolverine, is from that wasn't Purgatory. And in Loki season 2, when he got pruned and he saw a bunch of other Lokis. That's where he's right now, trying to get Wolverine to help him. And then there's a whole nother thing, is that there's a comic book out there called Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. It is potentially that they're taking that concept into this movie in which Deadpool is killing the Fox X-Men, so they all go to the MCU X-Men overall. And that's what the mission is. I'm so down. Yes, take my freaking money if this is true. This is going to be insane. This movie is getting more hyped just by these leaked set photos. It's people are like, oh, I didn't want to see it. I'm like, nah, bring it on. This is awesome that we still got to see this suit, and looks great. And it's going to even look better when we get the claws and you see on the big screen. Whether or not he's actually going to have his face mask is obviously out for debate because you couldn't see it in the set photos. But these set photos almost got you excited and leak, raised more questions, and got you more excited for this movie. However, this is the kicker, which I lie. This is probably one of the bad things about this. This movie, just a couple of weeks ago, announced they got brought forward, is coming out sooner. Unfortunately, because of the actors striking, production has halted. So, as much as we were like, yay, this movie's coming out sooner, because everything that's happening right now is most likely going to get pushed back to its original date, pending. Pretty much. Like, you don't know. Oh, shit. It isn't looking good However, in a recent interview with Kevin Feige, he did mention the fact that, look, real short version saying the fact that I do hope that something agreement can come together very quickly. Everyone's happy and we get back on track. He said that our team are no strangers to delays, multiple different factors, production issues. They're no delay to it, so they will adjust. They will adjust for it moving forward. So that's obviously we know that's the case. Which with lately in the last 2 years, Marvel's has not been shy from delays, production issues, people going to court, people getting more allegations, people coming forward complaining about Marvel animators. And anyway, unfortunately, as much as I would say for every Deadpool Marvel fan, is you look at this and you're like, yay, and it's just like, oh yeah, it's not moving anymore. Oh, most likely pushed back, which is shit, but understandable. But for gaming fanatics, the boys have entered the war zone. So Black Noir, Homelander, Starlight have entered Call of Duty Modern Warfare Warzone, which you can play right now. The trailer that got released in the past week looks fantastic. And one of the really cool things is that you can actually get a drop. No, I was about to say Dropbox. You'd be able to get Compound V if it just when you're not playing these characters, Compound V, and you actually get powers. So Modern Warfare Warzone is gone insane on this. This looks fantastic. This isn't a matchup I would have gone, oh, you know, it would be really good in Warzone. The boys. Yep. That sold. You know, it's almost like you look at Fortnite and there's some characters pop in there you would never think. Like, just remember, John Wick was in Fortnite. That's what I have to tell you. But yes, that's available to play right now. The boys have entered. I don't believe there'll probably be any other characters except for these three. But the trailer looks fantastic, and I can't wait to see what people do and the videos that's going to come from it. But speaking of the boys, we've also got a brand new teaser trailer, very small. Hopefully, I do believe a bigger trailer will come out this week or next. Is that The Boys Gen V? Now, this is the spin-off of The Boys. This is essentially high school, like what happens when kids go through high school who have powers. Very similar, probably a grittier version to Sky High, if anyone remembers that movie. And the interesting thing is that when I saw this, I was excited. Like, I'm so down to enter the boys universe. But see, this TV show is coming out in September. Now, the concerning thing to me is I doubt they're going to have this come out and The Boys season 4. I doubt they're both going to come out within the same month, which makes me think well, we're going to get The Boys in December, or are they going to push it to a Feb release next year? Generally, when the new shows come out. So again, this is kind of like this is good news for The Boys fans that we will be in this TV show, but this also is concerning that The Boys proper season is going to be being pushed back a little bit further. So yeah, it's kind of hard. It's like, again, it's one of those situations. I feel bad because the last piece of news I've given you guys, everything's come with a yay and an A. Yeah, Deadpool delayed. The Boys, but The Boys season spin-off is coming. So that's a little bit harder as well. But it is coming out this September. So I'm really hoping October or November, I hope in September, we do get a proper release date for the brand new Boys TV season. And we also finally get a release date for Invincible Season 2. God damn it. It feels like I've been waiting for that forever. Staying on gaming news, EA has announced they are making a single-player Black Panther game. That will be a fully immersive game. This is completely separate to the other game that's coming out with Captain America and Black Panther. This is separate again. They will be working they are working on this to make it a full-fledged world, immersive world into the Black Panther universe. Now, currently we have that game. We have a single-player Iron Man game, and then we have Captain America and Black Panther game. I believe set in World War II. Both of those are currently in the works. However, this brand new Black Panther game has no release date. So I'd say at this stage, 2025 to give or take. If the other games got announced so short ago, I'd say, yeah, you're probably looking at 2025 for this game. But not to stress, don't forget we're getting Spider-Man, we're getting the Wolverine. We've got these coming, so we are still getting plenty of Marvel games. It's just going to take a little bit. It's going to be a little bit longer from when they all come out because these games get announced. It's like, hey, it's coming. When's the release date? Yeah, we'll tell you later. A lot later. Pretty much. But for Black Panther fans, we better get a new game. Also, so this is what I was talking about at the very start of this episode, is that AMC theaters in America have announced or mentioned, or I guess it's an announcement. So out of all the members they have of this theater chain, 20,000 people have booked tickets for both Barbie and Oppenheimer on exactly the same day. So that will work out to be about 5.5 hours of movie content. So you'll be seeing either people in dark brown suits going into bright pink Barbie or bright pink people going into a dark, gritty Oppenheimer movie, back and forth. There is going to be a sea of pink and brown for these two movies that are coming out this week. It's going to be insane. I've got my tickets for Oppenheimer. I need to still get my tickets for Barbie. It is, I tell you, the next month, the rest of this year, it is bang, 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 bang. With movies, TV shows, everything. It feels like we're just like, oh, don't forget, this is coming on this release date. This is coming on. Like, holy shit. Give me. Makes me forget that everything else is shut down. But yeah, 20,000 people about to go back to back with Barbie and Oppenheimer on the release date. Which are both shaping up to look like fantastic films. And it's a great time to be a movie fan and go to the cinema. 100% go see these movies. I don't know whether or not I'll be wearing bright pink for going into the Barbie movie. But if you would like me to wear bright pink when I do the review, please let me know in the comments or drop me a DM. I will take it under consideration and tempted to get a Lights Camera Rant pink shirt, maybe. But are you one of those people that have double booked yourselves to go see these movies back to back? I'm excited. Can you not wait to see them? Please let me know. Now, also, moving on to also continue with superhero news, we're getting more casting news for Superman Legacy, which we have seen that we have Nathan Fillion as the Green Lantern. He will have the bald haircut. We've also got Hawkgirl and Mr. Minister. They're also going to be appearing in this movie with Isabella Merle. I think that's she will be appearing in that, as well as Eddie Gathegi. Oh, I probably butchered these. Terrible. They will be playing those particular characters. For anyone who does know, don't forget Eddie. Ed. His last superhero, he was in X-Men First Class. Unfortunately, he was one of the X-Men that carked it quite quickly due to Shaw taking his powers and putting it into his body and into a million pieces everywhere. Unfortunately, that is what happened to him. So, with this casting news, we've also got, I do apologize, I haven't got his name, but we've got Mr. Metamorphia. He will also be appearing in this movie as well. So, we're getting more casting news for Superman Legacy, which is shaping the entire movie. Now, out of all this casting choice, Nathan Fillion is the least surprising. Because, A, he was in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. B, he's good friends with James Gunn, and see he's actually played the Green Lantern before in animated movies. So it will be really good. Do I wish it was Jon Stewart, Green Lantern? I do. Like, don't get me wrong, Nathan Fillion is a fantastic actor. See him as a Green Lantern, yes, take my money. But I think I just would have preferred, Jon Stewart over Nathan Fillion's Green Lantern. Just my opinion. But don't forget Superman Legacy 2025. Also, we got a brand new trailer for Ahsoka. That's really good. We've also got a brand new poster for it, which I really do like as well. And we will see a lot of returning characters from Star Wars Rebels. The hype for this is real. Real. So really pumped for this. The trailers just increased my hype. And don't forget, August 23rd. Yes. I just had to double check. August 23rd, that's coming out. And same thing with Secret Invasion. We will be reviewing this episode by episode. And because of Ahsoka, it will bleed straight into, I think there's 2 episodes. Yeah, 2 episodes. 2 episodes where it bleeds straight over to when we're getting Loki season 2 streaming as well. Which, interesting enough, we haven't got a poster or a trailer for Loki season 2 yet. I'm assuming that we're going to be waiting until when Secret Invasion ends, which we've only got 2 more weeks of that. But you guys tell me, are you excited for Ahsoka? Are you like, nah, like it's because it's not, I'd rather Andor, or I'd rather something else. It's kind of scary to think that we're nearly 1 year past away when we got the Obi-Wan TV show. That's like, I saw a post about that the other day. I was like, oh my God, the time is flying. Like, it's already July. Before you know, I'm going to be talking about Christmas specials, Halloween specials. But Ahsoka is coming very soon. It is right around the corner. We also got a brand new trailer for the prequel movie called Wonka with Timothy Chalamet. I think that's a name I did not butcher. That is coming on December the 15th, which from this trailer we can see the fact we will see him trying to open his first chocolate shop factory at the very start. There's going to be singing, as we already know. Looks very whimsical. We also get Hugh Grant as the Oppenheimer. Yeah. As an Oompa Loompa. Jesus, that's a bit bad. As an Oompa Loompa, which CGI actually didn't look too bad. When I start hearing the theme again, I was like, that takes me back. So this is taking a prequel straight from the original 1972 Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Which from the trailer, it looks very like upbeat, musical, looks kind of funny. But yes, this is just called Wonka. I'd like to say, yep. Mr. Mark My Words has just appeared on YouTube. Thank you very much, Korean Past. You are a saint and a god and a scholar, good man. Which this man is actually, at this current rate, I'm pretty sure he is also going to be crossing up the 400 in a couple of days' time. And don't forget, this man is also streaming every Tuesdays and Thursdays. He comes out with content every single day. The man is outstanding, and the sky is the limit. There's a good plug for you. Mark my words. But yes, so Wonka is coming out, and this is coming out at the same time, which I was talking to one of my mates the other day about this, is that this is coming out December the 15th, and then we're meant to get Ghostbusters 5 the week after, and then we're also meant to get 22nd or 23rd is Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon and Aquaman 2. So December is shaping up to be a really big, busy month. Between just those 4 movies, like that's a lot. Like as I mentioned mentioned last week, Rebel Moon is going to be at the new Star Wars from Zack Snyder. So, but yeah, are you excited for the new Willy Wonka movie? Like, are you like, yay? Or are you just like, oh, I will just wait when it comes out and nothing else in between? Now for this one, now I know a lot of people have been wishing and waiting for this. It is reported that James Cameron has mentioned the fact that he is currently working on Alita Battle Angel sequel. Now, it feels like the sequel has been in limbo for so long. I can't actually remember when the first Alita 2022? No, 29. Oh my God, 2019. Alita Battle Angel came out in 2019, right before COVID hit. I don't know how all that happened. So currently, Alita Battle Angel has a 7.3 out of 10 IMDb. Now, a lot of people have been clamoring for a sequel and really been wanting it. It's kind of been in limbo. And it definitely left off right at the end that a sequel can happen to lead forward with Edward Norton being the bad guy at the end, which he looks really weird. But yeah, so James Cameron has mentioned that sequel is in the works. So it's no official announcement. He's just writing the sequel, and that's it. He's just writing it, nothing else in between. So depending on how he goes with his writing in between all the Avatar shit, I'd say maybe 2026, 2027. Oh, it'd be nearly about 9 to 8 years after the first one. So you never know. But again, what's the name? For me, if they don't make a sequel, I won't be phased. But if they do make one, I'll be right there with everybody else watching it. Because the first one really did actually get me. I was like, hey, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. So Alita's looking good, and that is also in the works, ladies and gentlemen. It is. So that is the biggest news that's happened in the past week. And look, we will be reporting what's going to happen with the strike. We will be reporting on that every single day as news comes out. Just like everybody else, fingers crossed that they do come to a resolution quite quickly. I do wish. And hey, Travis, for coming past on the YouTube. Hope you're doing well. Still haven't seen the original Alita. All I know is Edward Norton. Yeah. Pretty much, Edward Norton arrives at the end for like the last 2 seconds. And it's pretty much the scene. I'm pretty sure it's just like, hey, you gotta go up to there. There's where the bad guy is. Edward Norton just looks down and smiles, saying like, cut. That's it. Visually, Alita Battle Angel is beautiful to look at. It is stunning. The animation, everything they did for that was just fantastic, which is why it got such a big following. And not to mention from the comics and anime it's based on. So that's looking pretty. Yeah, Alita is well worth the watch. It is a Saturday night flick just to chuck on. But going into Marvel's Secret Invasion Episode 5, Beloved. Look, I'm telling you, do not, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, do not sleep on Marvel's Secret Invasion. It is gripping. It is fantastic. For those people that are like, oh no, Marvel's a bit gay. Shut up and just go watch the show. That's it. Just shut up, go watch the show, and come back to me. And then be like, oh, I didn't really just enjoy it for what it is. This is gripping. It's gritty. This is the Marvel of Move Knight, Captain America, Winter Soldier. It is that type of basis. And this last episode really hit it. You know, we get at the beginning of this episode, we get a really like intense scene between Nick Fury and Priscilla, his wife. We find out that Rhodey is a Skrull, War Machine is a Skrull. Now, there is no mention of the fact how long, obviously, he has been a Skrull, or how long he's been like this. So I haven't taken in all the people going, oh no, he's been a Skrull since Iron 2. And all of them like, no. We don't know when the Skrull got to him. It could have been the Skrull got to him after Endgame. Could have gone right there and then. So it could have been then. That's when they got him. But Rhodey is indeed a prediction. Rhodey is indeed a Skrull. And at the beginning of this episode, we get a really intense scene between Priscilla and Nick Fury. We get another flashback of Nick Fury after 2012. A little bit of poetry between the two characters. And then, obviously, we get a stare down with both of them. They're about to shoot each other because Priscilla has to kill Nick Fury. And it was, I have to be like I know it's just a show, obviously, and don't drive too deep into it, as everyone says. But there is a scene where she said, Priscilla's talking to Rhodey, and it's like, this isn't Nick Fury the old. This is a Nick Fury that looks like he's going to pass out from exhaustion and keel over. And I was like, oh, and Nick Fury's listening to it. I was like, oh, that's a bit rough. Like, he's listening, like, you're old and slow and struggle. And I was like, shit. Yeah, that's a bit rough. Probably a bit rough for the old bugger. So we get that scene, and with Nick Fury and Priscilla both looking at each other, and then suddenly they both shoot. And then you have a look, and you can see that Nick Fury missed Priscilla, and it takes a little while, and it turns around, and you see that Priscilla also missed Nick Fury. And it's a nice scene because it shows that Nick Fury does love her, does love it, and it does love her, and it's an intense scene. But as it's going across, like as it's slowing down, she does say this really important thing, which like, would you have loved me if I didn't change? Would you love if I didn't change and didn't look like this? And Nick Fury turns and goes, I guess we'll never know. And she looks a bit gutted by that. And I'm like, oh, that's a bit rough. But it still shows that he does love her, which is why he didn't kill her. Travis, during the scene where Taylor stabbed Gravik. Oh, yeah, spoilers. Spoilers, left, right, and center. Spoilers. Is during the scene where Taylor stabbed Gravik's hand and leaves the restaurant, get outside. There's space between Gravik catching up. Perhaps a guy gives Taylor. Ooh, that's interesting. Did Gaia help Talos get Extremis? Because yes, in saying that Gaia does live, she does live. We get the really cool Undertaker scene when she rocks up from the grave because she took the Extremis, which I'm thinking, I was like, I guess they could just use Extremis to bring Talos back, but at the same time, does the Extremis bring back the dead? I don't know how that's going to be. Well, that's true. Yeah, as Travis said also on YouTube, the next episode ending with Talos healing Samuel fight for the final. Yeah, I could hands down, I could see that happening. That he was healing in the big fight at the end, because that's the thing. Nick Fury can't fight Gravik because he hasn't got any powers. Which this episode had a massive action set piece, which I love. There was explosions, this was an awesome set piece. That we get as the episode progresses. You find out that Gravik with the other Skrulls are impersonating Russians to go attack the president of America, thanks to Rhodey being the Skrull, and to impersonate him to again begin World War III, as we can see. So as this attack goes on, as it's happening, we get to see Gravik use the group powers and obviously kill someone. And as it also still continues, Talos gets shot. He's helping to get the president out of the car. He's struggling and to get out. But when they finally do get the president out of the car, Talos is carrying a military guy is carrying Talos as Nick Fury is carrying the president. And as Nick Fury puts the president in the car, he turns around and the military guy is still holding Talos, which you realize, of course, it's Gravik. Which Gravik goes right in the chest and stabs Talos, which he falls to the ground. Nick Fury shoots Gravik once and twice, which we get an awesome like Terminator 2 scene, like with the bullet going through the mouth, and Gravik turns around and heals him, and you're like, and you just like I pretty much, Nick Fury's like reaction was my reaction to it. Was like, oh my holy shit. Like that is an awesome scene. And with also Travis, hey man, thank you so much for commenting every single time. I really like this. Wild theory. But with the attack on Russia, home of the Red Guardian Atlanta, and the vanishing of Agent Ross, Valentine's ex-husband, perhaps this is what inspires her to form the Thunderbolts. Hey, that's a pretty good. Hey, Travis, that's actually a pretty good theory. With this, everything that's happening that's good. Is the Thunderbolts getting formed a response to the Skrull invasion, to everything that's happened right now, to make a team to protect the world, because there are no Avengers, which I remember, and people were like, oh no, there are Avengers. Like, yeah, but there's no team. We just have individual superheroes. There is no team right now, which it could very much be why the Thunderbolts gets formed. But that is how this episode ends. That's how this episode ends, with Nick Fury off for the president. He leaves Talos. Gravik gets away. Guy was only in for about half this episode. She wasn't in the final because she has a conversation with Talos where they have different ideals. Talos says the fact that he, I can strike up a deal with the president and we can live on Earth and stay. And the guy's like, why do you want to do that? Don't you want to live in your own skin? And he's like, I do, but it's not the same. And that's where Guy leaves him. And Guy leaves him in, and she's out for the rest of the episode. So we've only got 2 episodes left of this show, and the hype train for this is just impending. Travis, dude, still loving all these comments. Imagining Ghost appearing, phasing through the skulls, removing the extremists internally, then John Walker just decapitates them. Yeah, 100%. Just like in Doctor Strange with Wanda, with the shield, slicing Captain America in half. Captain America starts going decapitation, which that's a reference from Brutal Legend. If anyone does remember that game, great soundtrack. I'm down for that. So, yeah, the major thing is, to me, because we obviously see Nick Fury in the trailer shave his beard, wear his old suit, and gets back into the game. So I'm guessing that's going to happen on the last episode. But to me, every episode has been an absolute banger and solid. I haven't feel that lull. I haven't feel that dip that a lot of people do talk about. Usually episode halfway through, you'd be like, oh, this is just like a filler. Like the Loki episode where they're stuck on the planet. That was a bit of a lull. But I feel like this episode just keep turning up that drama, keeps turning up the intensity, the back and forth. It's going up, 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 up. It's almost a darn shame there's only 2 episodes left. It's kind of scary, the fact that we've already gone through this many episodes so far. We've gone through these episodes so far. So, but tell me, I would love to know, if you're not enjoying this show, if you're not enjoying it, tell me why. What is it? Is it because it's not connected to everything? Is it because it's different because there's no big superheroes? Or is it just feeling that Marvel fatigue? It's just too much. Or I need, what's the word I'm looking for? I need to know too much prior going into this, and which phases me out. And I completely understand when people do say that. Because Secret Invasion, you still need to know a little bit moving in. But again, when they're making this content, you've been there since day one. You've been there since Iron Man. You've been there. Travis again on YouTube will likely open the file with the government, some with Rhodey, Agent Ross, and his other Skrull being trapped and captured. Yeah, pretty much. Because Rhodey was actually at that ending fight, but he didn't do shit. I think he was just on his phone texting. Oh yeah, everyone's a little bit murdered. Yeah, I'm not doing crap. Again, but how is this going to end with all the Skrulls still on Earth and Gravik? I really hope Gravik doesn't die because he's been such a good villain, but at the same time, Marvel doesn't usually kill people as easily. So you never know when Gravik might appear again. Hey, he might be a big bad guy for Fantastic Four. That is a very real opportunity. It could be. But no. And before you know it, we're going to be start talking about the Marvels and Echo. That is right around the corner. But that Secret Invasion, acting, action, and the CGI for this show, especially this episode, has been bloody on point. Chef's kiss. Have not seen anything jarring. So Marvel's definitely fixed up a few things. Excuse me. So moving on, let's go down to review of Mission Impossible 7. Mission Impossible 7 Part 1 Dead Reckoning. So the Mission Impossible franchise has been going on for, I think the first one was 1999 or 2000, nearly obviously 30 years ago. This originally started, and it's just been holy shit. Tom Cruise has to be he is an adrenaline junkie, and Travis, I really enjoy the show, but the one issue is how it can feel like a generic Hulu spy show. Despite being in the MCU, socials and historical events in the show are spoken of like our word, not the MCU. That's very true. The only memory I have of Mission Impossible was is Ving Rhames stepping on goat poop. I don't remember that. But yeah, the Mission Impossible. It's one of those franchises that I wouldn't not like Scream, but I mean, you got the movies came out, and it felt a little bit lull, and then just got an injection, and it's just been banger, banger, banger. And when you watch the quality of films, you do understand what I mean. But it's just kept going, and I think obviously a big part is with Tom Cruise because he's still pushing the envelope. We need to go higher, further, faster. That was a great MCU reference. He needs to keep pushing the envelope every single time. So what you would have seen in the trailer for this movie is you would have seen the massive stunt where he goes right off the cliff and does the whole jump. They shot that first in case he died. That's how intense. Travis, to get on YouTube, absolutely, I bless you, mate. It is in the beginning of goes the rock climbing. Yeah, I think that's coming back. Yeah, I just vaguely remember that climbing scene. Still, Mission Impossible 2, I think it's the lowest rated, or it's Mission Impossible 3. One of the biggest things I remember about Mission Impossible 2 is that we got an absolute fantastic Metallica song, which is called I Disappear, which was made for the movie and it's so good and is one of the most underrated Metallica songs. But yeah, so this movie, the Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, has been split into 2 parts. The second one will be getting in June the 28th next year. Unfortunately, like everything else I just mentioned in this episode, it is stopped production. They have stopped filming because of the strike. The military strike now has stopped filming, which I'm pretty sure Tom Cruise will not be happy about that because he, as Steven Spielberg said, this man saved cinema. Now, obviously, turn the clocks back 1 year ago, we got Top Gun, which made a shit ton of the movie. It would have been the highest grossing movie of all year if Avatar didn't come out. And so many people come to the theaters, and Tom Cruise makes sure that this was not released during all the lockdowns and COVID. Obviously, he would push for it. Now, Tom Cruise is in his 60s. He's an adrenaline junkie. So as every Mission Impossible movie comes out, he's going to keep pushing the envelope every single time. For me, if I was a director or a stunt team, I'd be so afraid. I'm like, what wild thing are you going to do next? How are we going to ensure that you don't die? Because I think it's Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol or Fallout. He did all the driving in it because they couldn't find a stunt guy who was better than Tom Cruise during all the driving scenes. What the fuck? Like, holy shit. Like, that's such a wild thing to think about, that we can't find a stunt performer better than you. So you do your own stunts. Now, as we've seen the rock climbing one. We've seen the helicopter one where he jumps onto that. We've seen where he gets on the airplane and hangs out from it. And in this, the jumping scene is the next big thing that he's going to do. But yeah, they shot this first just in case. So because of COVID and because of this actually became one of the most expensive movies ever made. It is the most expensive in all the Mission Impossible because inflation costs. He did. Travis, he did. He actually did climb the canyon without in Mission Impossible 2. He actually climbed that. He did have, I think he had like a parachute or something on him that was digitally removed just in case if he fell or anything like that. But yeah, he did really climb it. Oh, and I want to say Ghost Protocol. I want to say Fallout. It's one of those two where he climbs a building in Dubai. That also one he did in True. But yeah, so this movie was $291 million to make out of part 1, part 2. And I would also like to thank you very much for Travis for subscribing. Thank you very much. Really do appreciate that. And all heroes wear capes. And yeah, so this movie is $298 million. Currently, right now, is $122 million at the box office it's made. Now, in saying that, here's the gut-wrenching thing, which I do feel sorry for Tom Cruise. This movie will unfortunately come next weekend plummet at the box office. It will still make money, but it's going to plummet because of when it's come released. So obviously because of Oppenheimer and Christopher Nolan, his relationship with IMAX, Mission Impossible will be removed from IMAX theaters come next weekend. So all the money he's making right now from this movie, it's about to utterly plummet next week with Barbie and Oppenheimer. So for me, I'd be a bit annoyed if I was Tom Cruise, but it's very hard. But at the same time, you did see him. He's got his tickets for Oppenheimer. He's got his tickets for Barbie. He said he will be there. So it's a hard thing. He's a massive movie-going fan. He loves it. He doesn't make films. I quote, he doesn't make films for the Oscars. He makes films for entertaining for that film goer who sits in that theater, that one person who sits around the middle. The movie's for you. He's talking to you. He's running for you, which, my God, he does a lot of running in this movie. He does a lot of freaking running. And it's so funny to watch. It's only funny to watch because you realize how much he's running. And lost, was it? I just saw the report. Indiana Jones film, it was actually 400 million, and I lost some hair. Oh, well, Indiana Jones, shit. Oh, shit. Indiana Jones 5, and I don't think Indiana Jones 5 made its money back. I don't think it made its money back from its box office because Indiana Jones has come out, and boom, Mission Impossible, boom, Barbie and Oppenheimer. It's going to keep going down. So that's not looking good for Indiana Jones. And it's a hard thing because I'm part of me. It's like you knew this was going to make a shit ton of money, Indiana Jones. Like the fan base is there, but it's not going to be like a blockbuster like Oppenheimer or Barbie. It's you're going for a set audience to go watch it, which I know what you mean. But yeah, Mission Impossible. Now, I can't say I'm the biggest fan of Mission Impossible films. This isn't something like I go watch. I'm like, whoa! Like I was so excited. Actually, potentially, I wasn't actually going to see this until when my friends was like, oh, we should go see it, and then we're like, okay, actually, let's go see it because I was thinking, I was like, oh, between this, but just trying to get all the timing. But this is the type of movie which is darn shame because you won't be able to tell me. You need to see it on IMAX. You need to see it on the big screen. It is a massive action movie. This goes from beat to beat to beat all the way through. It has massive set pieces. It's a world film. I did get like John Wick vibes just because of like how it goes around the world and the different set pieces. Like it's a world travel film. Side note, Travis. The issue with the big franchises like DC and Marvel is they become too steeped in continuality and rebooting that people likely don't know what's happening, so you don't see them. That's a good point about to go off slight topic of Mission Impossible. That's a good point, which I completely understand why people do. Not to mention the really hard thing is, out of both Marvel and DC, DC has done that the worst. DC has alienated an entire fandom. And it's really hard because of what they've done. It's because they've done the reboot, the shifting ever since to 2013 with the Man of Steel. It's really hard. And because that people see what's happening in DC, the casual fan will look at Marvel and go, oh, it's all the same. You don't know who's going to play next. Us as the hardcore fans, we know the difference. But DC has it's terrible. Like for me, like if I was a casual fan watching the DC, it would make no bloody sense to me. I'm like, okay, why did we never get Man of Steel 2? Oh, okay, why did we never get this? Or why did we never get that? Or why does Superman look different? Why is Superman getting recast? Why is there a different person here? What, this movie's set before this, but the movie's set before that. No joke. Like that's just like you almost need a podcast. This is giving me a great idea. Like a YouTube video go like, hey, you need to watch this before you go in to watch this movie because it's so up and down. Travis, people like franchises, and Mission Impossible is one you can easily jump into, and you don't have to see a full season and understand what happened. No, that's right. Mission Impossible is one of those movies that you can just boom dive straight into. Doesn't matter which one you watch. You don't need to know a whole lot about the previous plot, which was just like this movie. I could barely remember what happened in Fallout. And this now didn't need much exposition. There was a little bit. And it was like, okay, good, going. You can just jump in at any time into this franchise. It's in its name. Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible, go. That's it. And which is why people all love it and go into this. And which were it's terrible. Like I said, it's terrible that you're not going to be able to see a full reflection of what this movie's box office could have been. But as this movie does open up, we do get a set piece in the desert with another sandstorm. A good small action piece, and then we get. Sorry, my apologies. I'm going a little bit too further. It opens up with Travis, where people who only saw Captain Marvel see the trailer for the sequel and see absolutely nothing lined up that they saw in the original film. Yeah. Sorry, excuse me. That's actually right. You look at the trailer for Captain Marvel 2 and be like, who are all these other people? Why is Nick Fury, my voice, why is Nick Fury on a space station? Who's Kamala Khan? Who's the other Sheila? And what is happening? The only major thing is I think it's still the Skrulls and the bad guys that you will know back and forth. But as Mission Impossible opens up, we do get about a submarine that they do this really cool key trick. 2 keys, gold, go into this massive like dome entity, massive computer base, which they go into, which they have a thought that there was a brand new submarine. They were under the Arctic Circle, so they could be detected. And you see that this other sub's coming, but the sub's moving really quickly, which is a little bit strange. And then as they go to shoot it, they've shot them. There's no impact. So they all go, yay, we're all fine. We're all good. Next minute, the one they shot comes right full circle and hits them. As you can also know, what's going to happen to a whole bunch of people in a sub that's been hit by a missile. All float to the surface like ice cubes. And boom, that's how the movie does open. It's a tense scene. Travis, that's why we're going back to Marvel thing. That's why I think that Venom to outperform Shang-Chi, Black Widow, and Eternals, as there's some sense of accessibility that isn't a large. Well, that's right, but the problem in saying that is, out of all those movies that you just mentioned, Shang-Chi, Black Widow, Eternals, Venom 2 is in quality of the film is below all of them to me, and not because of the acting, but because when you watch the film, I felt like it was chopped up too much. Like you could tell when you got to the end of the movie that like there has to be a lot of left on the cutting room floor. There has to be a lot of bits and pieces. It was too short. Yeah, it was a bit wrong on that. You should go back and listen to my episode. I did my review about it. That was a good plug. But yeah, so that's how Mission Impossible opens up, and that's what leads up to. We get a good set piece in the desert and a sandstorm with Tom Cruise. Ethan Hunt is back in his digital character. All the returning characters from the previous ones do come back. All the core characters come back. And what it is that now it's becoming a hunt for these 2 keys that do split and work in together to control this entity or this super AI that can infect anything that's digital in the entire world and remove it and delete itself like it was never there, but do so much damage. So it becomes a massive race against time to get these 2 keys to get to the submarine, to get to that entity and control it. Because every major country is going to want it to control the world, but Ethan is the only one who wants to and his team are the only one who just wants to destroy it. Which we do find as it's progressing, that we do find out that the entity knows this. We also get a character called Gabriel from Ethan's past, which he thought he was dead, which you find out he's not. He killed his previous girlfriend. There's a good flashback for that. So, yeah, it's a little bit context, but they did really good for that to get you up to speed. So then it becomes a hunt for this key. We get a really good set piece at an airport again, which again, Tom Cruise is running at the end of it, but everyone is after Ethan. Everyone, the government's after him, and his Gabriel character's after him because of this key. We also get Haley Atwell, who joins the franchise, which to me does not look like she's aged. She doesn't look like she's aged since Cap 1. She does really good in this film. We also get introduced to Mantis. No, I say Mantis, but her name is Mom. She's introduced into this movie. She's an MVP of the movie. She does fantastic, and I can't wait. I really do hope that she does come back for the sequel. Her fight scenes were cool. She was deadly in this set piece in Venice, which we see in the trailer where they're doing the race, the car chase, and Tom Cruise and Haley Atwell in the yellow car, which is really good. Love the dynamic of that because they were handcuffed together. And she is driving this massive truck, and she looks like she's enjoying it so much. She's deadly in this movie. It was weird. I was looking. I'm like, we just went out the makeup. I don't think I've seen another movie where she's been in it since seeing her in Mantis. But then again, I haven't watched her entire catalog, so this is the next big film I've seen her in. We get an awesome chase set up with both Palm chasing Ethan and Haley, The government's chasing them. The American government's chasing them. It's just all really good set piece. Because obviously they also find out that Haley Atwell's character Grace is also with ultimate thief, which I thought to myself, like, huh, seems very familiar to Anne Hathaway, Catwoman, going, I want a clean slate. I've been wronged. I've been blah, 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 and be a thief. Like, it sounds so, like, when I was watching, I was like, okay, you're a Catwoman. So original, but Haley Atwell kills it. That's a great set piece, and as we continue moving on, we go to this sit down in this party where we get to see all the main characters, all this intense talking scene about the ante, where it does. No one knows what it actually unlocks except for Gabriel, because he seems to be the chosen entity. So entity's chosen child. Travis, the way they did the eyes in the lead about Andrew, the main character, actually looks a lot like Mantis. I was surprised it wasn't. True. Actually, I didn't even think about the two. Yeah, true. Oh, well, that's really good. Mantis and a lead about Angel in the same episode. No, I didn't even think about that. But yeah, so we also get the party with all the main characters. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, I do believe it's Vanessa. Give me one moment. I believe her name is Vanessa, where she plays the White. Yeah, she plays the White Widow, and I was like, huh, that doesn't really have the same ring to it as the Black Widow. They say in the movie that she's the White Widow, and I was like, yeah, that doesn't sound as threatening. But her name is Vanessa Kirby. She is actually reported that she's got the second offer to play the Invisible Woman in the upcoming Marvel's Fantastic Four movie after Margot Robbie. Which after this movie, I'm like, sold. Done. I will not be disappointed by that at all. So we do get this wonderful intense scene, which leads to again another hunt to the key, which unfortunately Rebecca Ferguson's character does bite the bullet, which the entity predicted that this would happen in the movie. Spoilers, which I said earlier. You can't hold it against me. Which then we understand why she died, because the entity knows that Ethan's going to want to kill Gabriel because of it, and Gabriel's the only one who knows about the sub. So if Gabriel dies and no one knows the keys, then the entity can rule and do whatever it wants without being killed. So that's a really good intent. That's it's very like full probability. Unfortunately, yes, she does die, which is still a very tense scene. And by this point, we've already got the third running of Tom Cruise. It's almost not running, he's sprinting. Like, he's sprinting his heart out in this movie. It is ridiculous. Which, after all this, relates to Travis. I've been saying it for years, but Keegan Michael Kay as Silver Surfer would be good. Real quick. Ooh. Yeah. I was like, who's his name? But yeah, Keegan Kay is Silver Surfer. I could see that. Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing, is like Fantastic Four, The Rise of Silver Surfer. The Silver Surfer to me was done so well. The CGI was crisp for how, obviously, that type of character. That was pretty good. But yeah, so this leads into a train heist, if you will, scene, which I was watching it. I was like, huh, I've watched two movies back to back with a train heist. I was half expecting in the fight scene for someone to go, Ethan, and then Gabriel to get hit by one of those pipes over a train. I was fully expecting that. So Gabriel, obviously, in the type of person he is, goes and kills the drivers and hangs the guy up by the whistle rope, so the fact that he had still hear the whistle go off, so no one thinks the wiser. That was a bit. I was like, whoa, that's a bit rough. That's a bit rough. Which we get into sightseeing, which we see Haley Grace take on the mask and puts on for the White Widow to get the key. Now, as this continuing on, Ethan's struggling to get onto the train, which we do get to see the impressive stunt that's performed, which is crisp and looks fantastic. It's well worth the watch. There could be an argument that it would be nice not to see that in the trailer, but it's what puts butts into seats, especially a scene like this. The train's obviously not slowing down; it's speeding up, and there's a chase for the other half of both the two keys. Now, the American government's there. Trying to get the other key. We do get to see the director, which unfortunately he does not last too long. Gone, thanks to Gabriel. Which then Gabriel also does go stabs Mantis. Does stab Mantis as well because he's like, oh, you'll betray me because you're going to entity tell me that you're going to tell Ethan, which was very forward. It's definitely like this movie for super AI deadly. Perfect time to drop with the rise of ChatGPT and all of that. So perfect timing. And obviously this scene continues and raises up the stakes. We get a good fight scene between Gabriel and Ethan on top of the train, which Gabriel does get away. However, there was a lot of hand magic in this movie. Now, you think I'm silly, but I'm not. There was hand magic from Grace. There was hand magic from Tom Cruise, and there's a lot of hand magic in this movie for some reason, just for this key. Across the Spider. Oh, yeah. Oh, actually, no. I lie. That's a great point, Travis. This is actually the third movie in a row with a train scene because Across the Spider-Verse also had it. But you're right. It was a typical train between Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Indiana Jones, Mission Impossible. I wonder if there will be a train scene in Barbie and Oppenheimer. There you go. I have no doubt. And Gabriel gets away, then realizes the fact that he didn't have the key because Ethan did the old switcheroo. Gets the key. And we have a really cool set piece where the bridge explodes, as you would know, in a train heist kind of situation. And we get some really cool shots with both Tom Cruise and Haley trying to get up through the train because it's hanging over the bridge. And it's all falling into the ravine, which made me think of Back to the Future 3. And you'll know why, again, in a train heist scene. And as they survive that, Mantis is still alive, which, as the entity predicted, she told Ethan about where the sub is and what it does. So, boom. That's how Grace joins the American government, basically to be another agent. Now into this. Now, that's how the movie ends. Now, for me, I originally thought the fact that potentially the keys would be split up again, but everyone would know where the location is. It becomes a race. But no, Tom Cruise has the keys. He knows where it is, and Gabriel doesn't. So it's going to be like there wasn't a really big cliffhanger or setup, if you will, like Across the Spider-Verse, to lead into the second one. Be like, oh my god, what's going to happen? They've both got the keys. It's going to be a race, or Gabriel's got the keys, and now it's going to become a race. I wasn't expecting Tom Cruise to have the keys at the end. I was like, okay, I guess that makes it exciting for the next one. Like, okay, sure, why not? But yeah, so it's gonna be a year until the next movie comes out. This is the second movie this year that's a part 1 and part 2. But the cliffhanger for Across the Spider-Verse is a lot bigger than going into this movie for Mission Impossible. You're almost at the end of this movie, you're a bit like, oh, okay. The hero's half won, 3/4 won. The hero lost. Obviously, people died, but you're a bit like how can I describe this? Not to the same degree, but like Infinity War. all the heroes lost. Everyone lost. No one was going to win. Same with Cross the Spider-Verse. The heroes lost. The heroes in a corner. How's he going to get out of it? That's really not where it's at. All it is right now is the government's still after Tom, but he's got both the keys. He's still got half his team, 3/4 of his team. So the weight, I would say the weight going into the second one isn't as high. It hasn't got that big what if. It's the years of part one. Actually, no, it's not years of part one because we do get Dune. I don't care how you mention it. That part 2 is coming out this year, which I can't remember what release date it is. Dune part 2. Dune part 2. That's coming out November. That's coming in November for Dune. Oh my God, I'm not gonna say anymore. But we finally do get part 2 for that as well. But overall, Mission Impossible, acting on point, action, stunts. Yes. That's right. Good point, Travis. Fast X was a part 1. Totally forgot about Fast and Furious, which I totally forgot Fast and Furious. Totally forgot about that. But yeah, it is a year for part 1s, which I can't believe that. That's right. That's the third part 1 this year. That seems to be becoming more popular now, doing the split in the film. You know, when you hear it before, you're like, oh, wow, 2 parts. Now it's becoming more popular. But yeah, Mission Impossible, stunts, acting, returning characters, love it. Intensity up. My gripe is you probably could have, trimmed the fat probably about for 20 minutes from the whole film. And my gripe is that the weight going into the part 2 isn't there. Like the big, I can't wait to part 2. It's almost like, yep, I can wait. There's no rush. I can wait. Which for everyone right now, you are going to have to wait because it is going to be delayed. So that's my review for Mission Impossible. If you haven't already, do go definitely check it out. If you want an action film and you just want a blast point to point with great action set, you will not be disappointed, except for the ending. But no, really not disappointed. You just might be like oh yeah, can't wait for the next one in that particular thing. But no. So definitely, what do you think of Mission Impossible 2? Do you think it was a great film? Are you excited for the second one? How do you feel about all the delays? How do you feel about the current line with the writer's strike? Hopefully, again, Travis, hopefully next year isn't the year of part 2s that did. Oh God, that sounds awful. Hopefully, next year isn't the year of the part 2s that didn't happen. Oh, God. Very potentially, it might. But look, that might be happening. That might come soon. So, as always, thank you very much for everyone tuning in for this episode. And thank you very much for who's commented, Thank you very much for Travis for popping by and staying for as long as you have. And thank you for subscribing. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one. And as always, everybody, until next time, happy ranting.
Thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.